When it comes to conversations on sun exposure and what you see online, you will see distinct things on two sides. There's one side that says there is no such thing as any safe amount of sun exposure. It should be avoided at all costs, and it's very dangerous. I definitely disagree with that. There is, however, another crowd that says you can't overdo sun exposure and that more is better, and that if you don't eat seed oils, that you won't burn. I want to have a nuanced conversation about this and really give some safety tools for people and resources in case you are really looking to improve your health and enhance your health with sunlight in particular. So, if that's of interest to you, then stay tuned. My name is Sarah. This is the Sarah Kleiner Wellness YouTube channel, as well as the Evolving Wellness podcast. Today, I'm sharing with you a chat I did over on Instagram Live to talk about this topic and to talk about the topic of quote unquote safe sun exposure. So that is the recording I'm going to share with you here today. Before I jump into that recording, a couple quick announcements. The first one is that the Health Alchemy Bundle, which is a project I've worked on for about 2 years with my partner, Carrie Bennett, is now live. And it includes about $6,000 worth of resources for $50. We're only going to be offering that for 10 days. I will put the link in the show notes for you, as well as in the pinned comment if you're over on YouTube. As I always do when I share these Instagram chats, there's a keyword that says comment the keyword. That's only going to work over on Instagram. If you're watching this on YouTube or on the podcast, just ignore that and run straight to the comments or the show notes to get the link. And the second thing, completely unrelated, the hydrogen sail, the product that I just absolutely love and have used in my home. I've done a couple episodes about it, written articles about it on my blog, sarahkleinerwellness.com. Go to my blog to understand if hydrogen therapy is for you or not, and if it's quote unquote dangerous or not. The sale is going to be ending on the 14th. Today's the 12th. So there's 2 more days left of that. I'll put that down in the show notes as well, in case it's something that you have been interested in learning more about. Now, let me share this chat with you. And also a quick little reminder, none of this is medical advice or meant to be taken as a substitute for medical advice. And I will continue to offer free resources and free content on this topic, especially as the weather heats up here in the Northern Hemisphere. You want to make sure you're on my newsletter list. On Wednesday, the 14th, I'll be releasing a long form article, which is completely free, about sunscreen, because I've already done one on sunglasses. That's on my blog. I'll put that in the show notes as well for you if you want to check that out. And the nuance around sunglasses, but I'm going to do one completely devoted to sunscreen. So make sure you're on my newsletter list if that's of interest to you. I've got tons of free resources available as well on my website, www.sarahkleinerwellness.com. And let's go ahead and jump into this Instagram live chat. I might be sharing more of these chats over the next 10 days, as I have about 15 live streams scheduled over on Instagram with various contributors to the Health Alchemy Bundle. So if you're not following me over there, make sure that you do. And if there are any really great chats, I'll share them here on the podcast and on YouTube. Enjoy the chat. I'm going to talk about safe sun exposure and just some nuance around the topic, because I feel like there is so much confusion, especially online. There's just so much black and white thinking, and it just, honestly, I've been kind of damaged by that information in the past. And so what I really want to do is to clear up some of the confusion. So good morning, everyone. And I am going to try to pin this comment. I'm also really excited to launch a project I've been working on with my really good friend Carrie Bennett for 2 years now. So we've been in the making of this project for 2 years now. It's called the Health Alchemy Bundle. And it is about, it says on some places $5,000. We've just added more people as of last night. It's about $6,000 worth of resources for $50. It's only going to be available for 10 days. So if you want that, comment or DM me the word bundle. And in the bundle, what I've contributed is a really extensive course. I've just done it on safe sun exposure. And it hasn't been available other than in my quantum nutrition course. It is a part of quantum nutrition, because what is part of nutrition and how we nourish our bodies is sunlight. And your body will react differently to food depending on the sort of light that you give your body. Your mitochondria, which make energy, right? That's one function.
they're always responding to the environment. They're always responding to the light inputs that are there. And so part of nutrition, part of health is sunlight exposure. It's very, very important. And it's very overlooked in the world of nutrition. Everyone wants to fight about which diet is best, but the context of light is often missed. And so that's something I'm really passionate about talking about. I just did a live stream with my good friend, Dr. Sarah Pugh, and we talked about this because she's got a resource in the bundle as well that talks about a sugar diet, which I'm like, what are you talking about? Very interesting stuff. But it's really talking about deuterium, which is heavy in the high carbohydrate foods. And what does UV light do in particular for our bodies, for the mitochondria, is it allows it to deplete deuterium. So there's a biological reason why when the sunlight is strong, when we have a very high UV index, that very high deuterium foods are also available naturally in nature because our mitochondria have a way to deplete that and to handle it. So let's talk about safe sun exposure because, again, and it's more and more now, the weather's warmer in the northern hemisphere. I know I have some Australian and New Zealand people here as well, so I appreciate those people for also being here. But in the northern hemisphere, we're getting warmer weather, longer days, and stronger sunlight. And I love the conversation around sunlight and health. I think it's crucial because for me, it changed everything. It literally changed everything. I went from a lifetime of yo-yo dieting and obesity, being 200 plus pounds multiple times, losing 100 pounds 3 times, to now in my mid 40s when, I'll be 46 in less than a month now, which is crazy. But when I'm supposed to be gaining weight, my metabolism's supposed to be slowing down. I'm more optimized now in my mid 40s than I was in my 20s because of this impact of sunlight, because of how I've strategically added it into my life. And I've done the same thing with tons and tons and tons of clients. You can check out my testimonials section on my highlight and on my website. It's crucial. And so I'm really passionate about teaching about it. And a lot of people, they just talk about sunlight and sunglasses and sunscreen and all these things are bad and poison and should always be avoided. You can still burn yourself in the sun. You can still hurt yourself in the sun. You can still get sick, right, if you're not careful about how you go about this. So when I talk about safe sun exposure, it's all going to start in morning light, and working with so many people over the last 5-6 years just around this information, I do see all sorts of things. I see people that can't tolerate the sun. I see people that'll get a rash when they go out in the sun. They're very sensitive to it. I see people that can't go outside without putting on sunglasses because I have very light eyes. And so I lived in sunglasses for most of my adult life. I couldn't, even on an overcast day, I couldn't tolerate sunlight in my eyes. It hurt. It physically hurt. And I was very pale, pasty white. I couldn't go out in the sun without getting sunburned. And so I had to learn how to strategically get my body ready for sunlight. And now it's really, like I said, it has improved my health. It's made my metabolism run better in my 40s, my mid 40s, than it did in my 20s. And so I'm really passionate about talking about it, but it starts in the morning and then it starts in the evening, because if you have avoided the sun your entire life, which we've really been told we need to, that it's dangerous and we should stay out of it and protect ourselves at all times, then if you try to start going out at this time of year, even it's May, right? So depending on where you live, I'm in Georgia. So if I go out in the middle of the day in May, even this time of year, I will, and I haven't prepared myself, I will get burned. I could end up getting, not feeling so well from that, right? And having a negative reaction to something that is meant to be healthy for us. And so if you're new to this, one thing you need to understand is morning and evening are both really important when it comes to sunlight exposure. Morning is you're setting your circadian rhythm. You're preparing your brain for stronger light. And there's an abundance of red and infrared light starting at daybreak. Then at sunrise, when blue light begins to come onto the horizon, telling the brain, hey, let's turn off melatonin production, start making cortisol, start preparing the skin. We have mechanisms, we have chemicals in the skin that begin to we get the signal to start preparing the skin for stronger UV light in the morning. So sunlight's always meant to be in a sequential order. We're always meant to go into this gradually. And the morning time is very, very, very important for prepping your body for later in the day, prepping your eyes for later in the day. So if you're somebody that has to wear sunglasses all the time and it hurts your eyes to go outside like the way I used to be, you're really going to want to maximize this time in the morning. Sunrise is so, so important. And then early UV light. So what happens in the morning, and I've got an app called My Circadian app. It's in my bio as well. And if you get the bundle, you can comment bundle below this video or DM me the word bundle. You'll get a free trial to My Circadian app as well, and a whole little mini course. And so you want to start your day off going outside, exposing your eyes, exposing your skin to that really gentle light. And there's a host of science. Like I say, I don't hang my hat on science, and I don't want to just constantly say the science says this, because science can be twisted and cherry picked. But for the things I talk about, I can always give a scientific basis to back them up. And red light and infrared light have both been extensively shown in the scientific literature to precondition the skin for stronger UV light, to kind of act as an endogenous sunscreen. And so when you're in the morning, you want to really prepare yourself for the stronger UV by going out there, exposing eyes, exposing skin, and having a gentle start to your day as much as you possibly can. Oh, hey, Becky. Becky says, My Circadian app is amazing. It includes a lot of valuable info. Yeah, so my app, My Circadian app, is completely free. And if you go into the app, there's a little thing that says free video guides. And I've recorded videos about every single aspect of sunlight that there is for free. So that's all available. I like to really try to make this information accessible to everyone. So sunrise is important. The next window of time that's important is UVA light. So sunrise is really when the sun is between 0 and 10 degrees in the morning. There's a lot of red and infrared at that time. Then we have UV light that comes onto the horizon at 10 degrees. And there's a lot of magic that happens in the brain and in the skin as well when we're getting that early UV light, okay? So you want to have that as a memory for the eyes and skin as well. Then when we get to the stronger, and here's the thing about the sunglasses. You really want to avoid the sunglasses in sunrise because, number one, there's no UV light. And if you really want to, again, I don't hang my hat on here's 100 studies to back this up, this, that, or whatever. I'm more like I've been clinically using this information for years now. And how does this work on the average everyday person? That's what's more important, because there's a lot of researchers out there that will tell you a lot of this stuff and show you a lot of studies. But I'm more interested in how does it work with the everyday person? How does it transfer to someone's everyday life, right? That's what's really important at the end of the day when we're talking about this information. How does it work for somebody? And so, again, if you're going to avoid wearing sunglasses and you're trying to get your eyes and skin used to sunlight, if you've really avoided it your entire life, you want to really avoid sunglasses during sunrise. And the early part of UV, UVA rise, when the sun's like right at 10 degrees, there's a lot of things that are going to happen in the brain and the metabolism during those times. But when it comes to your skin and your eyes, it's really gentle. It's a really gentle time. When we talk about vitamin D, which a lot of people still think you can get vitamin D from sunrise light or anytime you're outside during the day, as you can't. And above a specific latitude, this can be debatable. It's 33rd, some people say 35th, some people say, but for people that, let's say, live in New York, Canada, these more northern places, there's no UVB available for specific parts of the year. And you'll see if you get My Circadian app that UVB is only available during specific parts of the day. During summer and this time of year, the window is much longer, but that's where your body is able to synthesize vitamin D from the sunlight signal internally. We make it internally. And so, if you're new to this and you want to start building up this quote-unquote solar callus, sunrise is important. The early part, someone's from New York City. Hello, welcome. Early part of UVA light, again, another signal for the brain, and then UVB light. And if you're very sensitive to sunlight, if you find that you have a reaction to it, then I'm going to say start by exposing your legs first. If you look at the research and what used to be done with what's called heliotherapy clinics, where sunlight was used for things like tuberculosis, for pneumonia, for people who are really, really sick, they use sunlight exposure on these sun decks to help people heal themselves, right? To heal as a signal for the body. Because if we look at literature, there's so many, again, studies on vitamin D, again, studies, what actually works for people, and showing how it controls the human genome, if you believe in genes, that sort of thing, how it signals the immune system, how it modulates these things. I don't recommend necessarily, and again, nothing I say is medical advice. I really don't recommend vitamin D supplements for a host of reasons, but I'll point you to the research of Jim Stevenson Jr. on this. And his work on this is really extensive. He's a PhD, he's a researcher, and his wife almost died from vitamin D, from taking it, because she was diagnosed with osteoporosis, and the doctor started megadosing her on vitamin D and almost killed her. And so I want people to always have informed consent and understand information rather than saying black and white, yes or no. So again, not medical advice. I don't particularly recommend vitamin D, especially long term. So I would look at that information, and I really want people to be empowered to understand that you can make this yourself. And so if you're sensitive to it, you'll start off with just exposing your legs and going for short amounts of time. And in the My Circadian app, there's a vitamin D timer that will help you to put in your skin type, because that's really important. If I'm probably a 2 right now, but there is a Fitzpatrick 1 is really, really the lightest type. Someone says, I think that's where my hip pain is coming from overdoing the vitamin D. And yes, I'm going to save this live. If you're just jumping on, this will be saved to my profile so you can go back and watch it. But yeah, you can have issues from overdoing vitamin D, especially if you're not taking it with K2, magnesium. And then again, Jim and I, we've done a few podcasts together. We explain why that's not even going to be a catch-all solution for the whole thing. And if you're, again, just jumping on, you can comment the word bundle. I've just come out with a really fabulous resource. It's about $6,000 worth of courses for $50. And it's got so much amazing information if you're just getting started with this. And my Sunwise course is in there. And my Sunwise course goes over all of this extensively, even the vitamin D information as well, to really help you, again, make the best decision. I don't want to say yes or no and do this and don't do that. That's not my job. I want people to have information and have informed consent, because that's what's missing for people these days. And when it comes to sunlight exposure, I don't say more is better. There's a dose that's going to be right for you and your body, depending on time of day, time of year, your health, what you are dealing with at that time. There's going to be a dose that's right for you. So I've got resources to help you figure that out. And so now we're getting to, in this conversation, UVB, which is, again, middle part of the day. That's where you're going to make vitamin D. And in a lot of places, UVB starting earlier and earlier. I think in the summer, for me, UVB will start as early here in Georgia as like 9 o'clock, and it'll go till 6, 7 o'clock at night. So it's a long window. The more towards solar noon you get, the middle of the day, the higher the UV index is, the more it's going to be a little bit harder for people like a Fitzpatrick 1 to stay out there for a long period of time. So if you're new to it, I say early morning UVB or late afternoon UVB, you're still going to be able to get those benefits. Make sure you're starting your day with a strong circadian signal. Someone wants to know if you should eat breakfast before sunrise. I particularly don't recommend that. I say eat breakfast before UVA. Get sunrise in your eyes. I always bring mine out here on my patio here. I've got a screened-in patio, which is really necessary if you live in the South. And so I say eat before UVA rise. And how do you suggest night shift workers navigate sun exposure? That's a tricky one. So we've got in the bundle actually a specific course for night shift workers. And so that's really going to go over, because it's a complicated topic, being a night shift worker. It's very hard on your biology. It's very hard on your system, because you're missing a lot of natural cues. So you're going to have to lean into more things like fasting. You're going to have to lean into more things like ketogenic diets, because your mitochondria are going to have to work that much harder because they're missing the natural signal from sun. So food also comes into the whole safe sun exposure conversation. And that's also included in Sunwise. I have a whole nutrition section with an extensive food list, with summer food recipes, with a list of foods that actually, which really interesting research, can help to protect your skin from really strong UV light, which is very fascinating. That nature grows these specific foods in very strong UV light that have compounds that can help to protect your skin from really strong UV light. So nature always has ways of protecting us if we understand how to tap into those things. But modern society has us so disconnected from what's innately there for us that we just are kind of like clueless, when it comes to these things. And then we have this conversation of like, sunscreen, sunglasses, protect yourself. There's no safe sun exposure, and we're just getting bombarded with messages from all sides. And so my goal always here is to give you all the information so you can make your own decision. Don't take my word for it. Look at all the information. So when it comes to safe sun exposure, there is ample data and research, and I have that, again, scientific research within the Sunwise course, which is in the bundle. You can comment bundle to get that. That teaches you and shows you that things like seed oils actually can cause your skin to be more likely to have sun damage, to burn, and to be less tolerant to sun exposure. And certain foods like wild salmon that have astaxanthin actually will help your body to be more resilient to sun exposure. Another thing with safe sun exposure is your meal timing, because we really want to try to keep food away from bedtime. There's a study that I put into Sunwise that shows eating too close to bed disrupts the clocks, because we have circadian clocks all over the body and even in the skin. It's going to disrupt the skin clocks and make them less able to repair. So it will make you more likely to sunburn. The name of the paper is actually that eating too close to bed makes your body more prone to sunburn or more likely to sunburn, because when you do that, you disrupt repair mechanisms in your body that are built in to help you recover and repair from these things. So blocking artificial light at night is also really important. When we're talking about safe sun exposure, it's not just one thing. It's not just what you do in the middle of the day. It's how you start your day. It's the food that you give your body. It's the hydration and minerals. And it's your evening routine as well. So you really want to make sure you block in blue light at night. You're getting to bed and you're not eating before you go to bed. Does your course include common medications and interaction? No, I don't have that. I try to kind of stay away from talking about medications and personal information like that. But that is interesting, and I can always add things down the road. That's one thing. If you get something from me, you'll have it lifetime, and as I make updates, you'll always get those updates. So that's actually something I hadn't thought about, and maybe I need to put that in there as well. So I think that really kind of sums up, if you're just joining, I've had a little chat about safe sun exposure. When it comes to sunscreen, I cover that also. When it comes to sunglasses, I cover that also in Sunwise, and I've done some posts and some blogs. I'm going to do a blog this week on sunscreen in particular, because I think it's again, you hear one group of people and it's like it's poison, it's going to cause cancer, it's going to kill you. And then should you go out in the middle of the day if you haven't been outside and your body has no relationship with sunlight, right? There's nuance to it. How can I manage blue light with a complicated glasses prescription? So there's a company on Amazon called Spectra 479. I have no affiliation with them. And they have clip-ons that you can get to just wear on top of your prescription glasses. And I think that's the best place to start and the most economical. There are two companies I work with that will also take your prescription and create blue blockers for you. And I've had quite a few clients that they started off, they're like, I have this prescription, I don't want to just overhaul my glasses. So they just got the clip-ons and they noticed a difference. I've had women in menopause and perimenopause stop having hot flashes from simply wearing blue blockers and fixing their light environment at night. So it is really, really powerful stuff. But I'm like, if you're skeptical, I think they're like $29.99, or they're pretty inexpensive over on Amazon that you can get these clip-on glasses. And the Spectra 479, they have regular glasses as well. They have fit over, they have clip-on, and they just have regular glasses as well. So to all the skeptics out there that are just like, I just want to see how this feels. Does it actually help me? Just go there first. And then I have two brands in my bio as well that I really love, that are a little more higher end, that are very comfortable, that you can check out as well if you have decided that the blue blockers are helpful and you want to make an investment in something that's comfortable. So yeah, there's, again, a lot of nuance in this conversation. And any other questions? I'm going to jump off here. I'm just getting back from Confluence and Mother's Day weekend. I'm a little tired today, but I wanted to jump on because I'm super excited about this project that I'm launching with my partner, Carrie, today. Like I said in the beginning, we've been in the works with this project for about 2 years now, gathering creators, gathering information, and just working really hard to put together a really great resource for people who want to learn about this stuff and don't want to spend an arm and a leg. It's about $6,000 worth of information for $50, and it's only going to be available for 10 days. You can comment bundle or DM me the word bundle, and I'll send the information over to you. But my particular module is on safe sun exposure. It's a brand new thing that I've created, and it's called Sunwise. Yeah, and I love putting out free information as well. If you are new to my page, please go to my bio. I've got a newsletter that's free where I write these really extensive articles. I have a blog on my website that's not behind a paywall where I have really extensive articles. It's www.sarahkleinerwellness.com, free blog. And then I have about 12 or 13 free ebooks that are also available to you. I have 2 podcasts. One is mine and one is with my partner, Carrie, who we're doing the bundle together. What else do I have? I have a YouTube channel where I do short videos also. That's all in my bio. So if you're new here and you're like, I don't want to spend money, I just want to learn. I've had so many people that are so kind that have written messages to me and said, hey, I just took all your free information. I lost 30 pounds. I had a woman this weekend who said she got pregnant and lost 30 pounds just from the free stuff. Let's see. Amazing. So this is a different bundle. Someone says that they purchased a bundle that I was in before, but they let it expire before they accessed my course. So this is a completely different bundle. This has never been put out there before. This is a brand new offer with me and Carrie. And my Sunwise course has only been available through my quantum nutrition course. So it hasn't been out there or available before now. So, all right, everyone. Well, happy Monday. Make sure if you're just jumping in to go back and watch the beginning of this video. Try to really give a simple explanation about sunlight exposure and just the nuance of the topic. I'll have a article this week on Wednesday in my newsletter, so make sure you go subscribe to that in my bio about sunscreen. I've already done one on sunglasses. That's on my blog, and there's an extensive lesson in Sunwise about it, but there's a free blog about it on my website because, again, it's another one of those topics where it gets a lot of clicks and views, but there are situations where you got to protect your eyes. I know, blasphemy. Because there's things like glare that create a really, really bad spectrum of light for your eyes that can be harmful, believe it or not. I might even test that out this week with my spectrometer to show people, hey, here's sunlight reflecting off of sidewalk. Here's sunlight reflecting off of water, off of sand. Look at this. This is not a natural spectrum that your eyes are supposed to be experiencing and could damage your eyes. So I'm going to possibly do a post about that later this week. But all right, everyone, thanks for watching. And again, if you want to check out the bundle, comment or DM the word bundle. I'll send you over the link. It's a great resource. And thank you so much for being here. Make sure to check out all my free resources in my bio because I love putting out free info. And we'll talk again soon.